do this. Okay. So what we're talking about today is Yitzis time. We're talking about, maybe you want to move over to this side of the room. So what we're saying today is, we're trying to understand a little bit what the tkufa is that we're about to walk into. Okay, what this tkufa is, what's happening here. We know that everything in this world is just a mirror of what's going on in the real world, right? The olam elyonim. So let's just understand what we're doing. So we're cleaning, we're all bugging out, we're going shopping, we're all like freaking out. It's 20 days to the D-Day, and it's and people are not, unless it's your favorite holiday, which is few and far in between, people are not excited. Like I see on my Facebook friends, people are just like, having a really difficult time with the situation. And I feel like every year it gets harder and harder for some reason, maybe because I'm getting older and my friends are getting older, so like more kids, harder situation. But this is what, let's just infuse it with truth. Okay, if we infuse anything in our life with truth, then we see it from a different perspective. Then we have a whole different take on it. It's almost like when you're having a difficult time, let's say in your relationship with your husband, and you talk to all the wrong people, and you get all the wrong information, right? So when you come home and you see him, you have like this much amount of resentment for the fact that he doesn't X, Y, Z, right? And but if you would speak to the right people, right, that would be able to help you process well and help you take it to the next level and help you not just look at what isn't, but how to deal with what is and take it to the next level and let it grow, because every situation is always, needs attention. Then you'll walk into that house from a whole different perspective, from a whole different angle. So it very much, you can look at one thing from so many different ways and so many different understandings of it. So when we're stuck in this world, gashmi azeh, right, we're here. So we approach things from a very gashmi way, right? We approach things like Pesach. What does Pesach mean? Pesach means getting rid of chametz, cleaning the house, basically spring cleaning, even worse. It means bugging out. It means kids are on vacation. What do I do? And it means tons and tons of just rearranging everything, cabinets, covering, different. Just not like Shabbos, not like Yantif. It's from a whole different perspective. Welcome. So it's almost like it gets very heavy, right? It gets very, very heavy. Why is it getting heavy? When you know that you're getting heavy, I remember Rabbi Heller saying something that really made me feel a lot and think a lot. And she said, if you're a teacher and you're getting burnt out, if you're a mom and you're getting burnt out, if you are anything and you're getting burnt out, it's much easier to say this for a teacher, because if you're teaching Kodesh, this is really for the teachers that are Kodesh teachers. So if you're a teacher and you're teaching Kodesh and you're getting burnt out, you know that you're not doing it for the right reasons. Why? Why did she say that? Because she said, and it made so much sense, and it still makes so much sense, when you're on an ego thing, it's all about you, then eventually you get tired and sapped. Why? Because this one's asking, and that one's asking, and this one's calling, and that one's texting, and this one wants to know, and that one wants to know, and this one has issues, and that one has issues, and you're like, right? Right? Because you're just like, okay, enough, give me my life back. Okay, I'm not your grandma, I'm not your nanny, bye. Right? But when you're in it for the right reasons, meaning if you're in it for godly reasons, then you're in a whole different place. You're dealing with it. You're seeing every text message as an opportunity, every letter as an opportunity, every phone call as an opportunity to help another yid, right? And everyone, because every one of us is in darkness. Every one of us is struggling with things. Every one of us is stuck somewhere. We all want to make believe like we're not, and everything is great, but every one of us is stuck somewhere. Whether it's health, whether it's kids, whether it's husband, whether it's money, whether it's our self-esteem, whatever it may be, right? So we're all stuck in some kind of darkness. So if I can help this guy out with his flat tire, right, and his emotional flat tire, what an opportunity it is for me. But if you're in it for the wrong reasons, like if I'm in it for myself and what feels good, while I'm on stage it feels amazing, while I'm in front of the classroom it feels great, right? While I'm teaching the Torah, or while I'm putting out the whatever it is, the Shabbos meal, and it feels great. But afterwards, when I feel like it's getting too pressing or too much is expected on me, then I start feeling worn and tired and angry and resentful. Then you have to check yourself. You have to check your motives. You have to check what's going on in your mind while you're doing it. What reasons are you doing it for? This is like the famous chazal that says, if you're running to do a mitzvah, check yourself. Why? Because if you're so much running to do that mitzvah, you have to see what your motives are. Because when you have a mitzvah to do, the Yetzer Hara always attacks. That's his job. That's what he was created to do. It's negative energy that God created in the world in order to be able to give you schar. Right? So he's always going to attack. He's always going to, all of a sudden you want to go out to Ashir, I'm tired, I'm not in the mood. All of a sudden I'm feeling, like lethargic and like lead, and I have so much to do, or you wanna be patient with your kids, and all of a sudden someone gets you in a bad mood or something, and you're just like, whatever. You're trying to work on yourself, and all of a sudden the opposite, something happens, So why? Because he's always going to be there to attack. Because it's so subtle, we don't feel it. We don't feel it because it's like, what do you mean? This person was in my way, and that happened, and therefore I'm feeling this way. But it's not that this thing and that thing. They're en olam. En olam. If you've learned anything from my classes, that there is no world. There is nothing. There isn't you, and there isn't this table, and there isn't this, and there's nothing. There's no car outside. There's nothing really going on. All of it is a setup. What is it a setup for? Bishvili nivra olam. Hashem set everything up in a specific way, in my way, in front of my face, in order for me to have a challenge right there, in order for me to be able to see something or crack a code right there in my life. And if I pass, what happens to me? I infuse myself, my neshama, with more neshama. I'm going to get to it in a minute, and we're going to understand what it means to have cheres Mitzrayim, what it means on a conceptual level, on an emotional level, what it means to come out of Mitzrayim. Because we're not talking about something that happened 3,000 years ago. We're not talking about Mitzrayim that happened 3,300 years ago, more. Right? It is not something that we don't celebrate holidays like the non-Jews, that they celebrate Abraham Lincoln Day or whatever, Easter. We're not celebrating what was. We're talking about what is right now happening in the moment in our lives. Judaism is very, very much alive. It's fire. It's not anything but that. It's fire. And whether it's either you're getting warm and you're embracing this fire and you're flying with this fire, or the fire is burning you up. So that's why you have two sects of people from Jews in this world. You have the Jews that are on fire, and you have the Jews that are burnt out. Right? Why? Because Torah and Yiddishkeit is fire. So if you approach it from the wrong angle, and if you see it in the wrong way, and if you feel the wrong way, things about it, or whatever, you have bad experiences from different things, then what happens? It burns you. It burns you so bad that you just want to get the furthest away from people. And I have this so often with people that I know that take me to, they'll Google, where is the last place on earth where there's not going to be one other from person, and I want to go there. Right? Why? Because they're so burnt out from what they think Torah is and what they think Jews are and what they think Judaism is, that they're just they want to vomit. And then you have people from the other end that they're looking at the same exact thing. For example, I went to Bar Park the other day. I remember when I was becoming religious, when I was a little girl. I remember driving down in the streets of Bar Park when I basically forced my parents to take me to S&W and buy me suits for Shabbos. And my parents were like, where are we? What is this place, 13th Avenue? And what is this S&W place? And why does every piece of thing cost $150 coming from Rainbow, So, right. Not shopping. I remember looking at the window. I remember my parents talking to me, and me not hearing my parents, not hearing them. I remember being stuck to the window and staring at all these Jews. They're so clearly Yidden. It's just so clear, right? What's going on in their hearts? That's not what I'm talking about right now. But so clearly Jews, so clearly different, so clearly on a different mission, so clearly in a different place, so clearly going somewhere else, right? Than what I was used to, than where I came from the tank tops and tight jeans, right? So different, right? And to me, I just wanted to be that. I wanted to eat that. I wanted to consume that. I wanted to be. I didn't know why. I had no idea why. It was a neshama thing, obviously. I didn't know where it was coming from. It was like a soul thing, right? I don't know why. I didn't know anything about really Yiddishkeit at all then, right? I just knew that this is something so, wow, alive, right? And it's funny because the other day I was driving to Bar Park. I don't go there at all, ever. And it was Sunday, just this past Sunday, and I felt like I wanted to take my 5-year-old somewhere that felt Jewish. Where do you go when you, hi, wow, what a surprise. I wanted to take my 5-year-old somewhere that felt Jewish. And what feels Jewish in New York?
Bar Park.
The Ohel and Bar Park. So the Ohel he's not going to appreciate that much because he's still very little, right? Here's a bunch of dead people. And here's one very special one, right? So he's not going to appreciate that one so much. So where do I take him? I took him to Bar Park, and didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't talk to him about anything in the car, And he's sitting in the back seat, and all of a sudden I hear him saying, Ima, it says Bivrit on the buses. On the school buses. I was like, that's right, it's a Yiddish, it's in Yiddish. So he said, so my mother's sitting next to me, right? My mother's sitting next to me. And she's like looking over her shoulder and looking at him like, my mother is like, secular comes, But at this point, she's so like, the brainwashing has seeped so deeply in that she appreciates it. Like she's, and she's like elbowing me like, look at him, he's like loving this. And the kid is stuck to the window like this. Right? He's like, looks like a kid in a candy store. Right? He's like, wow. He's like, look at all. He's like, look, there's a Yid, there's another Yid, and another Yid, and all these like rabbis that are walking across the street that look like rabbis, payas and whatever. And he's like getting really, really excited about this. And I'm like waiting to get him to 13th Avenue. So he's just so amazed, and he tells me, he's like, I love this place, I want to live in this place. So you have a kid with all his innocence and all his tamimus. He's like, comes to a place like Bar Park, and then I remember my best friend in high school. I remember my best friend from seminary. She lived in Bar Park, and her parents were so not Bar Parkers. They were like modern Orthodox and like becoming more like right wing, but like hating Bar Park. Like every day I would go to their house, they would like curse every chassid that walked down the street because like they had bad experiences, right? They had really bad experiences with like this neighbor and that neighbor and people looking at them and people eyeing them and people talking about them and whatever it was, right? So you had them living there, right? And so hating Baruch Hashem, they don't live there anymore. They moved out. They live in Florida now. Much happier there, and then you have this kid and me also walking into the space and thinking this is like Kodesh Kodashim, right? Havdil. So we're looking at the same thing. So you can look at the same thing from so many different perspectives. You can look at the same thing from so many different angles. Now, what is our agenda as a Jew? What is our agenda here in our life? Why are we sitting here in Bracha's house at night? Why does Bracha do this? Why is this at all something that we're putting our efforts into? Why do people go to classes? Why? Because there's something that's called, we were given two spiritual pieces in us. Okay, and if you follow me in this, you'll understand a lot of Pesach, and hopefully by the time you leave here tonight, you'll be able to approach your Pesach from a different perspective, from really a candy store as opposed to a Shibud Mitzrayim. Right? As opposed to like, I don't want to be doing this, right? I want to be watching my favorite TV show and not cleaning my stovetop with a Q-tip. Right? So really that's the agenda. Our agenda is in our life right here in this time, because this is something that I like, it's hard for people to hear, because we're kind of sucked into the matrix in this world, and we think that this is going to go on forever, and we're always going to be young, and we're always going to be whatever, and our shittos are always going to look this way, and then things change, and all of a sudden we get older, and all of a sudden we don't realize it happening to us on a daily basis. But we will all, this is something that I've heard from a very chashav rav, so I feel confident saying this. We all end up with chaver kadisha. That's where we're all going, and our time here is very limited. So what's the point of all this stuff, right? What's the point? Where am I going in my direction? So it's almost like most people I know, if they want to lose weight, they need a very specific diet, right? What was it? I heard that the diet industry just last year made over $70 billion. Right? Just diet industry, right? So that means that there's people don't know how to do it alone, so they turn to all different people all different help in order to be able to help them get the body that they want, right? So what's the idea? When you see numbers like that, you know that majority of the human kind needs directions and needs a focus in order to be able to accomplish. And everyone feels that way. Give me a task and I'll learn how to do it and I'll apply myself and I'll do it well. Why do we go to college? Because people need direction. So I go for this and she goes for that and she goes for this and she takes that, and then we graduate and then we feel like we actually know something. Right? And then we apply ourselves in that field, so then we start making money, because all of a sudden I know something because I was given directions. I was given exact ways of how to accomplish and how to get to where I want to get to. With Torah, it's very, I feel that it's very misunderstood. I feel like with all the information that we have, all of our years of learning and all of our years of high school and college and seminary and classes and whatever, everyone kind of says something different, sort of. We basically have a basic hashkafa, basically, but like it's very confusing. I know that I have to keep Shabbos, cover my hair, eat kosher. I know that I have to keep Taras HaMishpacha. I know that I have to not speak Lashon Hara, and I know that I have to love my fellow brothers and sisters. That's basically what it boils down to, right? A bunch of rules. A bunch of, I have to keep Shabbos, and I have to wear skirts, and I can't have them be too tight, and I have to wear my sheitel not too long, and I have to make sure that, my kids are in certain schools with a certain hashkafa, and we make certain foods. We all basically make the same type of food. We all basically look the same kind of way, and that's basically what it means to be Torah-dik, right? That's basically what it means to be a Torah Jew. So why do we cling to those kind of ways? Why do we cling to this derech of, if I have to do these things, these rules, and then I'm okay, then I'm really connected to God? But what do most people tell me, all the people that I talk to on the phone for hours, what do they tell me? I'm frum and I feel nothing. Devorah, I don't know what you're talking about because I'm frum and I feel nothing. Right? And it doesn't go together. It doesn't go together. Torah tells you if you're frum and you're connected to God, then you have to feel and you have to be on fire and you have to be passionate and it's going to work on you. It's almost like, eat strawberries for 500 days straight. You will lose weight. It's going to work. Right? And it will. Right? It will. You will. So I've been doing this for more than 500 days straight, and I ain't feeling nothing. Right? Sometimes I feel, but most of the times I don't feel. Sometimes I'm inspired, but most of the time I'm not inspired. Most of the time I'm not. Most of the time I don't feel that way. Right? So why? So what's missing? What's missing? Why aren't we a bunch of these powerhouses? Why aren't we on fire? Why don't we hate Sinas Chinam and hate Lashon Hara and hate Chil Shabbos and just want to connect to each other and love each other and give everything we have away? Why are we frum and disconnected? So if I'm frum and disconnected, what I mean disconnected is that I'm not getting all the benefits. I'm not getting the benefits of all this stuff that I'm supposed to feel on Purim, I'm supposed to feel on Pesach, I'm supposed to feel on all these high and holy days. I'm not getting the benefits. I feel stressed out. I feel like it's a lot of money to be religious. I feel like you have to live next to a shul, which is ups your whatever price like crazy. I feel like everything is, I feel like tuition is very high. Everything is look at all these Tom, Dick, and Harrys that live wherever they want. And they pay $700 rent or whatever they pay, and they live a life, and they don't have to worry about tights and skirts and shivas and Beis Yaakovs and getting my daughter in, getting my son in, and covering my hair and having the right length and having the right this. Wow. Right? They just live and let live. So what's all this what is the Torah is supposed to be Eitz Chaim, life. I'm drowning. I don't know about what life you're talking about. I'm drowning in the stresses of the world that I live in. Right, the community and the what's expected and how I'm supposed to look and how my kids are supposed to look, how they're supposed to be dressed, what my house is supposed to look like, what my bank account is supposed to look like, right? The stress is there. My relationship with my husband is supposed to look like, how I'm supposed to look like by my son's bris, how tiny I'm supposed to be, right? Right? That thing, I just saw this article about Ivanka Trump that just had, and that's what everyone talked about, and it was. I was just like, wow, this is such a typical example of the generation that we are in. Didn't talk about the baby, didn't talk about how it just talked about the fact that she has a Jewish baby and that she's so thin and she's wearing heels. Right? And that's what they talked about also Princess Diana, and the world is like, wow. Right? Wow, what an accomplishment. Right? Wow. So the thing is like this. If this is Eitz Chaim, if my life source, if my energy, if my life, what flows through my veins is supposed to be so filled with so much kedusha and so much cheshek and so much eslavas and so much excitement for life. Why am I not seeing it in my children? Why am I seeing everybody hike up their skirts and take off their hair coverings, and a lot of people and kids going off the derech left and right, and people not seeing the beauty in it? Why? Why? Right? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Where am I losing something? Where am I not seeing something? And if you guys start bringing this into your lives for real, not just a cute little shir that I go to once every 2 weeks, and like it's inspiring and it's fun and I feel like it's good for me, and like then I just move on, and you bring it into your life for real, then you are making shifts and waves in the entire Klal Yisrael. You know, I'm giving this Emunah teleconference, and I'm almost finished my third round, and it's basically what it is. It's a 6-week Emunah course on the phone. I have some people that took it here and taking it. Shani's taking it for the second time, and it's a 6-week course on the phone about what it means to have Emunah, right, and how to live an Emunah life. It's very, very hard. It's a lot of, so it's an hour talk, okay? Sometimes a little bit over, but most of the time it's an hour talk. And then afterwards they get an email, and the email has exercises, not easy exercises, okay? A lot of mind exercises, tons and tons of mind exercises throughout the course, and verbal exercises and written exercises, and just a lot of work and reconditioning and reprogramming this system. You know that your whole life stems from this, right? Mm-hmm. Everything that you see, everything that you experience, everything that happens to you, it's all coming from here. You know that, right? Everything is from your mind. If you change your mind, everything changes. Your life changes. So last night, my group from last time, right? I'm on my 5th class, on my 3rd group. So my 2nd group, girls start to I get one message from one lady that tells me, you know, Devorah, I felt it when we were doing the work. I want to read it to you because I want to read it to you. Oh, there's more. There's more messages for me. I want to read it to you. Okay. It was like a sudden attack, all of a sudden. I'm having a hard time with my emunah. Okay? She writes, I'm just so sick. She is a woman that before she started the Emunah teleconference, she could not get pregnant, and for a while. And then she went out with, she started doing, what's it called? What?
Vitro?
She started going to doctors to get help.
Vitro fertilization.
Fertilization, yes. She went for that, and she was...
Or it could have been fertility. Which one? I don't know.
I don't know. She couldn't have children. She went to the doctor.
Yeah.
She was waiting for a while, and finally they decided that they're doing it, and they're going to the doctor. And they went to the doctor, and they started the process. And it was, at first she was like so sure that she saw everything black and white. Everything was very, very clear. The doctor told her how it's going to work, what she has to do, what her part in the whole thing is. She has to come in at certain times, certain dates. She did it. She was certain that it was going to work. I mean, the doctor was very, very clear based on her numbers, based on all the things that it was going to be okay. It's going to be good. She went through this really difficult process with the doctor and with the medicines and everything. And after like a long time, after like 6 weeks of going back and getting, how do you say tipulim? Treatments. It failed. It didn't work. She wasn't pregnant. And she was like just so horrified. She couldn't, heartbroken. She could, what? Like, could be that I'm not going to ever have a child. She was like, could not, she's a young, frum lady that she went out with her husband, with another couple that they were also having issues with pregnancy. And they went out somewhere, and when they went out, the other couple looked like they were like really happy. They were like smiling and happy and doing really well. And she asked them, do you mind if I ask you, like, how come you're okay? How come you're so okay? So they told her, we started learning Emunah. We started learning about Emunah, and we feel like it's really making a change in our life. So she comes home and starts like Googling, like she starts whatever, and she comes across the Emunah teleconference, the one that I give. She quickly sends me an email. She sends me like an email right? I love her. She's amazing. But she filled me in on every last detail of everything that was going on with her. And she joined the Emunah conference. She joins the Emunah conference, and throughout the Emunah conference, she's going back for her second round. And she was beside herself. She was sending me messages every night. I was sending her like 10-minute WhatsApp messages of what to think and what to say and where her mind has to be, and not in the doctors. And do not put your trust in the doctors. There is en olam. There's only Hashem. He's testing, challenging now, and giving her all these things to say and all this mind exercises. And she was like, I can't, Devorah, I can't do this. And I was like walking her through it a little bit, right? She finishes the Emunah conference. She sends us all a message. I'm pregnant. She sends all a message. I'm pregnant. And everyone's like bugging out because we all knew. All the people on WhatsApp, all the people that were involved, they all knew. All of a sudden, it's been 5 weeks or 6 weeks, 7 weeks, I think. 7 weeks since that group was over. Meanwhile, I'm on my 5th week on my second group with a break in between. And I get this message from her. We all get this message from her. I'm having a very hard time with my emunah. I'm just so sick. And it used to be when I threw up, I would think, thank you, Hashem, for this pregnancy. Now when I throw up, I think, what the heck? Why isn't this medicine working? And I'm not ungrateful, just frustrated at the reality that I'm really maybe having to make weekly visits to the ER for IV fluids and meds, and this is just not what I had expected. And then, after she sends that, 9:25 to 9:27, I get another message. Hi, I'm also having a hard time with Emunah lately. I think I need more Emunah classes. I don't know. And then another lady sends in, I'm looking forward to the VIP classes, which is going to be the second round of classes. And all of a sudden they all start ganging up on me. Like, it's not working, you promised us, and it's not working, Devorah. Okay, so I started like doing this, like typing like really, really furiously, not in a bad way, but basically telling them, clearly sending the message to them, the ball is always in your court, which means that no one can do the work for you. And if you're saying the things that you're saying, because you had like 90% of the ladies didn't say, it was 10% of the ladies that said, this is not working, and it didn't work. The Emunah conference didn't work. Because if you're saying what you're saying, that means that you haven't put into practice what you're supposed to be putting into practice. Because if you would have continued doing the exercises, you would be in a whole different place today. You would be kissing my toes. Not because it's me, because you got the information from this class. Right? If you would be continuously doing the work, you would be in a whole different place, right? And then I sent them this my little neshama by A.B. Rottenberg, where he basically says, it's a mashal, it's a story about how the neshama says, I don't want to go down to this world. And the malach says, you have to come down to this world. There's a baby waiting to be born, and you have to come down to this world. And the neshama says, I don't want to. Look at all the pain and evil in this world. I don't want to be a part of it. I want to stay here where everything is so amazing, and I'm next to the kisei hakavod. I don't want to go down to this world. And the neshama says, let me take you on a ride. And the neshama takes this neshama on a ride, and he shows him, look, someone's learning Torah, there's another one, he's davening, there's another one doing prayers, doing tefillah, doing mitzvahs, and the neshama says to him, so promise me, I'll go down to this world if you promise me that I'm going to be that way. So what does the malach say to him? And I think this is a brilliant song. The malach says to him, I like drill my children, they like sing it all day. What does the malach say to him? You're on your own, it's up to you. You're on your own, it's up to you. Right? And that is exactly what went on in Shemayim before we came down to this world. The Malach, Hashem sat down with us. He showed us our entire life. This is Kabbalah. Showed us our entire life. He showed us how every single situation that we're in makes exact sense, how it's connected to so many other things, and so many previous Gilgulim, and Klal Yisrael, and Geula, and Mashiach, and everything. He showed us the whole picture, how we're such a small part, a big part, but yet a small part of this entire puzzle. Without this piece, you don't have a puzzle, but you're such a crucial part, and that's how it's connected into everything. And until the Neshama says, 100% I agree to this, it doesn't get sent down. The neshama has to see the picture so clear that it says Me'achuz Hashem, 100%. And then the neshama gets sent down to this world. Right? But what? But it's up to you. It's up to you to do what? It's up to you to do the work. Now let's go for a second. Let's just get deeply into Pesach for a minute. What is Mitzrayim? I want to talk about Mitzrayim for a second. I want to talk about Chiros for a second, because this will change your approach to this holiday. It will change your approach to your cleaning. It will change your approach to your cooking, to all of the stresses, quote unquote. It will bring you in from a whole different place. The truth is, we need another class. we need another class between now and Pesach. I don't know. It's probably not going to happen, but we can use another class on Seder and what the Seder is and how to come to the Seder. But because the Seder is Kodesh Kodashim, Seder is Mamash Kodesh Kodashim. What happens to us? What happens to our neshama in the Seder is mikvas Yisrael. The Seder is it's mashpia very, very much. And if you're mechavin and if you know about it, then you can get much more from it. But right now we're here, and this is what we have to do. This is what is Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim is not a place. Mitzrayim is a state of being. Mitzrayim is a state of being. What is chayrus? Chayrus is freedom. What does it mean that we have to see ourselves? Every single person has to see themselves as if they came out of Mitzrayim. What is Mitzrayim? So we have two things, and this is what I started saying before. We have two things. We have two parts of ourselves. This Hashem gave us two neshamas, two spiritual elements. One is called nefesh habe'emit, and one is called the neshama elokit. Okay, nefesh habe'emit is the nefesh part of us, that is functioning in this world, that is the life source. Okay, it's the driving force of our life. We need to eat to survive. We need to sleep. We need to have clothes on our back. We need to be able to have a roof over our heads. That is what gets you out of bed in the morning. Okay, that is the drive that gets you out of bed in the morning. That is the nefesh habe'emit, and that's what we're here for. We feed the nefesh habe'emit because that's what the nefesh habe'emit wants. The nefesh habe'emit is be'etzem. Why is it called the nefesh habe'emit? Because the behemoths, the animals, also have a nefesh. And what do the animals do? They function based on instinct. What's the instinct there? The instinct there is to eat, to procreate, to sleep, to take care of their young, right? And we all have that also. We all have this need to all of a sudden get married, to have a child, to have another child, right? Having children is somehow addictive. It's like my girls tell me in my house where I used to work, that was the Alpha Derech place, that tattoos are also addictive. So they say children and tattoos are a drug. So that's cool. Because once you have a child, and you want to keep going, right? And once you have a tattoo, apparently you also want to keep going. But that's a side point. But so that's what the nefesh habe'emit is. It's really basically the basic instinct of who I am. How Hashem put that into me. It's like my engine. It keeps me functioning, keeps me going in this world. Okay? Now this nefesh habe'emit has a very, very loud voice. And what's the loud voice of nefesh habe'emit? It's to take. Now we were born with this need to take, right? As a baby, when you're a child, when you're a baby, you're not gonna all of a sudden feel bad for your mom because she wants to sleep and she has a breast infection because you've nursed so much and she's like done and dead and she just can't breathe. You don't care as an infant. You wake her up every 2 hours because you need to eat. Why? Because Hashem put this kocha, it's called kocha mekabel. Hashem put this kocha mekabel, this is the Kabbalah's terms, right? The Zohar uses these terms. Kocha mekabel is the koch that we were born with to take. To take. We were born with this koch, otherwise if the child would feel bad for its mother, it would probably starve to death, right? So the child can't make these kind of calculations. The child needs what it needs when it needs it. Right? And as we get older, this kocha mekabel, we grow up with this kocha mekabel. So that's why it's hard to give tzedakah. It's hard to give someone for not getting something back, right? Have you ever thought, why is it so easy to buy a cup of coffee for $5 and it's so hard to give it $95, right? In the street. Why? Because here you're getting something back, so in essence you're giving in order to get, so in essence you're getting, so that's where it falls into, it feeds this kocha mekabel. And just imagine a gigantic mouth that's always wanting to eat, okay? Whatever it may be. And it just wants to eat up this world. It craves everything that's gashmi, it craves everything that's chomel. Right? And nefesh habe'emit is very, 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 very physical. Okay, it wants this world on every level. Wants this world on, and then you have the neshama elokit. And neshama elokit is this other force that we have inside of us that's called the neshama. And if we understand it from a different perspective, we'll get to know our neshama better. We'll understand what it really means. The neshama is the part of us where, first of all, it dwells in our mind. It's in our heads. Okay, that's what the neshama is. It's in our heads. Okay, and very much if you change that's why my biggest thing right now in life is to change your mind, to change the way your thoughts are running through this circus called your brain. Because if you change the patterns of your thinking, you're gonna all of a sudden feel your neshama. You're gonna feel Shabbos. You're gonna feel tefillah, right? Because that's where the neshama is. That's where the mishkan of the neshama is, here in the brain, right? And all of your thoughts very much contribute or take away from your soul, right? So what's the neshama elokit? The neshama elokit comes from the or Ein Sof. It comes from this place of Ein Sof. That's what the Kabbalah uses. That's the term the Kabbalah uses. Ein Sof means there's no end, there's no boundaries, there's no gvul. Right? There's no ending to it. It doesn't end. It gets better. It gets louder. It gets sweeter. It gets more. It's more. It doesn't end. Okay, that's where the neshama comes from. Really, the neshama. Imagine a rock. This is Chazal. They use this mashal. Imagine a mountain, and imagine you take a rock off this mountain. Is the rock different from the mountain? No, it's exactly the mountain. What the difference is that you have a piece of the mountain in your hands. But it's exactly the mountain. It's one for one. It's exactly the mountain. It's exactly a piece of the mountain. If you have a cup of water, right? You have a cup of water in your hand, and you take it out of the ocean. You took it out of the ocean, the river, and you're drinking it, and then you spill it back, right? So when it was in a cup, it was still ocean in your cup. The only thing that was different was now that it's in a cup, it has something that's holding it in. That's magbilet, or not, right? You have something that's containing it. When you spill it back into the ocean, it just becomes a part of the ocean. You can't see which water was in your cup. You can't see, oh, that was my water, right? And that's exactly what we are here in this world. We are a part of the Ein Sof, and if Chazal wouldn't say it, I wouldn't feel confident to say this. But Chazal say, Chelek Elokah Mimal is mamish, the fact that we are a cup from this ocean. We are a piece of this Elokah Mimal, meaning that there's no difference between me and God. It's one. The fact that I have a body is something that contains this soul. It contains this expression of Hashem inside of me. I have this extreme expression of God inside of me, and it's exactly God. It's not a piece. It's not like something like God. It's not kedusha. It is God. And Chazal say it. It's mamish Hashem. So you mamish the Hashem that you're davening to, you have inside of you. The Hashem that you're keeping Shabbos for, you have inside of you. Exactly, one for one. It's exactly the same thing. There's no difference between this water and that river. It's the only difference. The only thing that's separating me and that river is this cup, is this guf. So the guf's voice is telling us this world. Now, what's this world? This world always ends. Imagine to yourself the most incredible, amazing, exquisite evening that you can possibly look forward to in your entire life. Maybe perhaps your wedding night. Perhaps a wedding that you're making, a bar mitzvah, something that you just like, your whole heart and soul is like, there's no problems with money. Everything is the richest, the fanciest, the most exquisite. What happens? How long does that last? As long as the experience lasts. And this world, everything is mugbal. Everything has a gvul. Everything has an ending. Everything is bound by something, right? So it will always, no matter how amazing it will always be over. It will always end. Mm-hmm. And when I say we come from the Ein Sof, when I'm talking about, and I'm teaching you Kabbalah on this, if you'll understand this concept in your brain and really, 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 really take this and start thinking about it and absorb it, you really will see your frumkeit changing. I don't like to use that word because I don't believe in frumkeit, but you will see your relationship to God changing. You will see your life changing in the way your Shabbos, your details, everything is all of a sudden takes on life. It takes on a new life. It's like going to bar park, right? It takes on a new life, right? Depending on which eyes see it. So these lessons really clean out our lenses and really help us see our life from a real perspective, from the right perspective, because we get very, very stuck here in this world. Even if we're wearing the head coverings and we're keeping the Shabbos, we get very, very stuck in things that we shouldn't be stuck in. So how do I get this feeling back? How do I get this Eitz Chaim that I was talking about back? So if I understand that I'm made up of these two things, and the guf's voice is very much this world, koach hamekabel, take for yourself. Right? Take for yourself. Don't give too much of yourself. Chesed is like, fine, I'll do you a favor, or fine, whatever. Right? Because where does that come from? It comes from the guf's voice. The guf's voice is party, enjoy, relax, pleasure. Where is that be'etzem coming from, this need to have pleasure? It's coming be'etzem from the neshama. And this is where Mitzrayim comes in. Mitzrayim is a mitzias that we all have inside of us. Because we're all be'etzem, we're all really, in fact, slaves to many things. What does it mean? It's an emotional state that we're in. That we're slaves to this shutness, this closedness. What was Makas Choshech? Makas Choshech was 80% of the Jewish people died by Makas Choshech. You know that, right? 80% of Klal Yisrael died by Makas Choshech. What were those 80%? Those were the 80% of the Jews that did not want to go with Moshe to come out of Mitzrayim. They didn't want to come out of Mitzrayim with Moshe. They didn't want to follow him out. What was Moshe symbolizing? What was Mitzrayim symbolizing? What was Choshech symbolizing? What were the Jews that didn't want to follow Moshe out of Mitzrayim symbolizing? The biggest issue here, our biggest problem here, is that you can't want freedom if you don't know that you're enslaved? What does it mean that I'm enslaved? If I think that life is cool, and I think my life is awesome, and I think I'm really okay, then I'm never going to be able to come out of this shell. When I understand be'etzem, that all of this stuff, this gashmi stuff in this world, is really just me trying to grope at something to feel good, right? What was the person that went to look for the richest, the wealthiest man in the world, and he went to the Chavetz Chaim and he asked Chavetz Chaim, who is the wealthiest man in the world? And he sent him to like the other side of Poland, and he went to the other side of Poland, and it took him forever to get there, and he finally gets there, and he sees like a shed with a guy in the shed, and there's nothing in the house, and he has a t-shirt on his back, right, with that he's happy to give away, right? So he says to him, really, you're the happiest man in the world? How are you the happiest man in the world? And he makes it very, very clear to him. Now, the more I need in order to be happy is an indication that, in essence, my happiness is dependent on stuff. And when our happiness is dependent on things that are limited, on things that end, on things that don't last, that really, where's that need for stuff coming from? The need for stuff is coming from the neshama. Why does the neshama want? What does the neshama want? Follow me here, ladies. Follow me here. I know it's complicated a little bit. It's not so entertaining, but it's complicated. Follow me, and then I'll try to make it more entertaining for you at the end. Okay? Right? Okay. I feel like we've been working together for so long. At this point, I can give it to you. Right? I don't have to be such an actress all the time. I can really just give you Torah. Right? But follow me. I need your eyes open. I need your brains here. I need your phones away. I need you to hear. You're here. You're here. Don't let anything distract you. The Yetzer Hara is coming to distract you. Don't let him distract you. Okay? Because there's a lot of truth that's going on here. There's an Eis Ratzon in this room right now. We're learning Torah. We're talking about things that are going to change you. Okay? So move in. Move into the moment. I work very much based on my crowd. Very much based on my crowd. So I need you. It's not just me. I need you. Okay? Because I can't be here if you're not here. Okay? So here we go. Men would love if I taught them this. Men would love it. Women are like, tell me a story. But I'll tell you a story soon. I just want to tell you this first, okay? This is really, really important. All these terms of Mitzrayim and Choshech and Shibud and all these things are just terms. They're terms that are going on in our nefesh at all times. The need for stuff in this world comes from our neshama. Why does it come from our neshama? It comes from our neshama wanting to connect back to Hashem, wanting to connect to the Ein Sof. In the Ein Sof, it's all goodness, it's all amazing, it's all terrific, and it never ends. Right? That's where our neshama comes from, right? From this river. And we're stuck in this body. And how does the body interpret it? How does the body interpret it? Oh, I have this need, I have this lack, so I'll eat. I have this need and I have this lack, so I'll go on vacation. I have this need and I have this lack, so I'm not happy in my marriage, so I need something else. I'm feeling empty, so I need to go shopping. I'm feeling sad, so I have to eat a pint of Ben and Jerry's. Ben and Jerry's ice cream. You should try it. It's awesome. Right? I have this something here. I can't explain it. I don't know what it is. Right? And who feels it the most? The people that are not running after the buck. The people that have it. People that have the pool, that have jacuzzi, that have the 3 cars and driving the parking lot, that are not distracted by Olam Hazeh to run to, because there's the happiness. All the people that are running after money are thinking, I have to run after money because if I'm able to afford vacations, if I'm able to pay comfortably, and if I'm able to send my kids to camp and tuitions and everything easily, and I'll have such an amazing child and buy it, and everything will be so great. Me and my husband are just going to be lovebirds all day. Right? That's what people think. Right? So those are the people that are still living b'ashlaya. B'ashlaya means an illusion. They're living in an illusion that once I get there and I have the bucks, then I'll feel good. Right? Who's in the deepest sadness? People that have it all. People that are there. What happened to Britney Spears the second she hit the top? What happened to her? She was trying as a kid. Right? I remember her in Star Search when I was a little girl. Trying, and she was like, oh yeah, trying to win the contest. And she won, and then she won again, and she won again, and all of a sudden she became this blockbuster, right? And all of a sudden the second at the age of 25, she hit the roof. Can't get any bigger than her. Can't get any more billions than she did. What happened to her? Drugs and problems and million things, right? We shouldn't know of. And going into asylums, and right? Why? Because when you're working for something and you think that your answer is there, and you finally get to the top, and you're like, there's nothing here. It's not feeling me. The beach, the pool, the jacuzzi, the house, the clothing, the trips are not filling me. I'm not being filled. I'm not feeling the burn. I'm not feeling the rush. So what do people turn? They turn to drugs because they want to escape. They want to escape. Why do they want to escape? Because oh my gosh, so what do? I want to feel alive. I don't feel alive here. Right? And that is very, very much the problem. What is the problem? Shemachlifim ratzon beratzon. There is a ratzon. There's a deep need somewhere inside me for something, for life, to fill myself up. Hashem doesn't make people wake up in the morning feeling empty for no reason. People wake up in the morning feeling empty, feeling not for no reason. He makes people wake up in the morning feeling empty because there is an emptiness. Machlifim ratzon beratzon means that people feel an emptiness and they open their fridge and they eat excessively. That's why most of America is obese. Right? They feel emptiness, so they go on another vacation. They feel emptiness, so they spend more money. They feel emptiness and they get another boyfriend. And then if the emptiness really gets deep, then they go on drugs. Right? And that's where it comes from. What is the ratzon be'emes? What is really the ratzon? What is really going on here? So you have this body that wants to tell you, no, you're feeling that way because you don't have a good, look at all the things that are going on in your life. Oh my gosh, look at all the negativity that's going on in your life. Look at all the bad stuff that's happening in your life. That's why you're feeling empty. But the guy with the shirt on his back that lives in the shed is coming to tell us that it's not because of him, and it's not because of the bills, and it's not because of tuition, it's not because of even your health. Because I've met people that only in their sickness have woken up. Only in their sickness have become happy. Only in getting ill have all of a sudden tasted life, what it means to be alive, and gave the world chizuk. Only there. What is the guy with the shirt coming to tell us? And the shed is coming to tell us that your happiness will never be contingent upon anything in your life. Not upon riches, not upon wealth, not upon being married or not married, not on anything. Your true longing in this world, because you're a soul in a body, because you're water in a cup, and you're not just a cup. You're water in a cup. Your true longing in this world, your deepest longing in this world, your deepest craving in this world, is not for French fries and pizza at midnight. Your deepest craving in this world is to connect to God. Why? Because you are God. And that's where you come from. For the same reason that none of us know why we keep Shabbos, and none of us know, we know nice different drushes on Shabbos, but none of us know why we keep it. None of us know what the real benefits are. We learned some chazals and some things, but every single one of us that has kept Shabbos has felt a difference. We feel it. We feel it. Friday night and Shabbos comes in, you feel something. Why? Because there's something inside of you that's connecting to the energy outside of you. You don't know what it is. You feel it when you go to the hotel. You feel it. You don't know what it is. You feel when you have been Lashon Hara free for 10 days, you feel the difference when all of a sudden you hear Lashon Hara. You feel the negative. You feel the you feel like it's dirty. Right? So how do I feel this? How do I feel this kli? So it's very, very simple. We were given a nitzotz, we were given a chalak elokah, we were given a nitzotz, we were given a spark, and depending on how much zikuch, I'm giving you Kabbalah terms here, so hold cup with me, okay? Zikuch, depending on how much purity, depending on how much we purify ourselves, that's how much we're going to experience it. That is how much we're going to experience our soul. That's how much we're going to experience the God within us. That is how much we are going to be able to approach holidays like Pesach and see it from a whole different perspective. See it. I don't know what everyone is talking about. This is like I'm on a high. I don't know what everyone is talking about. And every time I clean another room, it's another layer of my neshama being opened up, another clean. That's what I'm doing it for. It's not the actual physical room. It's not the actual physical chametz. What am I even doing? What am I even doing? I'm purifying myself every single time I sweep, every single time I scrub, every single time I'm saying and I'm saying the Yeshim Ichud to Hashem the entire time I'm doing it. I'm saying to Hashem the entire time, I'm having kavana, because it's all about what's going on in our minds while we're doing our actions. If you're davening and there's no neshama while you're davening, then it's like a, right? Tefillah b'li kavana, keguf b'li neshama. Right? If a person's not kavana while they can be there all day, but they're not there, nothing's happening. Right? They're not really activating anything. It's all a matter of how we approach things in order to activate the olamos. That's what we're doing. That's how we're zocha for shefa. That's how we bring down the goodness, the abundance from Hashem, when we activate things in our minds. It's all about where you are in your mind, in the time of your action. In the moment of action, when you go into the mikvah and you toivel underneath the waters, don't just ask for this and this and this and this. Be there in the moment while you're underneath that water, while you're zocha to have that mitzvah of going to the mikvah, while you're underneath those waters. Say to yourself, I am being misyached with Hashem. I am purifying my body. I'm purifying my soul. I'm doing a mitzvah, even though I don't understand what this whole thing means. But I know that this is the pe'ula in this world that gets me, activates the ruchnias, activates my shorish neshama up there. That it will affect you in a way that you've never been affected before. You'll feel, wow, mikvah. Right? So that's what it matters. All that matters here is how much I infuse my actions with purity. That's it. How pure I become. That's why there are mitzvahs and averos and staying away from things and not doing things and not looking at things and not saying certain things. Right? Because there's kedusha and there's tumah. And kedusha just brings you more into that world of Ein Sof, and all of a sudden you feel amazing. You can feel amazing with nothing. And you can feel terrible with everything, kivyachol. Why? Because that's what Kedusha does. Kedusha feeds that lack. It's almost like I feel this spiritual emptiness and I'm like eating, and the neshama says, or I'm going on a cruise, or I feel like I just have to get away, so I go on a jet ski, or I go on a whatever, I go on a shopping spree, and the neshama says to you, you're giving me, how does my Rav say it? You're giving me, ani bat melech, אתה נותן לי דברים של בן עיר. I'm a different language. You're giving me a cruise, you're giving me a buffet, you're giving me cash, you're giving me a beautiful house. I'm a different language. Feed me with my food. I need my food. And people get emptier and emptier and more desperate and more desperate and more desperate. And emptier and emptier. And they cling, and then they fight with their husbands, and they fight with their girlfriends, and they fight with their moms. Right? Right? Because they're happy. Right? And I keep feeding, and I keep going to the restaurants, and but I'm not filling myself. I don't feel good. The language of the soul is Kedusha. And that's why it's so not good or healthy to go into the places of Tumah. Because Tumah disconnects you. And then you feel left, and you feel spent, and you feel empty. Even if you don't feel it right now, after a certain amount of time, start feeling it. And going to the mall won't fill it. And losing 10 pounds will feel good for like a day, 3 days, 5 max. I'll give you 5 days. And then you're like, all right, whatever, next. And that's it. The language of neshama is kedusha, because I'm connecting to something that doesn't have bounds, and that's what I'm a part of. That's where I come from. That's who I am. And when I connect to kedusha and I stay away, that's why tumah, all the things that are tumah, they disconnect me and they make me feel Lashon hara is like so bad, right? One of the worst. It's like Lashon hara, not saying. No, really, these are the facts. This is how it works. Your soul, you can't run away from it. Your soul in a body, you can't run away from it, right? That's what it is. It shuts you off from your life source, right? From where you're feeling the most infused with life and with energy and with happiness. So you don't really need stuff. Who's the happiest person in the world? Samech b'chelko, with his chelek. With his chelek, meaning you don't need stuff. And the more stuff you need, that's a bad indication. And lahefech, Pesach time, I want to leave you with one message here right now. Pesach time is a very good time it says that the more we take from this world, we can never be in a situation of 50-50. The more we have, the more we take away from ourselves spiritually. Right? That's why there's halachos in eating also. How much to eat? The Rambam says eat 80% till you're 80% full, not till you're busting at the same Shabbos suit. I can't move. I have to go lie down on the couch because I'm about to have like a sugar, like whatever, right, or like a carb, whatever, and I can't. I just like gain like 700 pounds this meal, right? The Rambam says eat till 80. Why eat till 80? Yes, it's healthy for your body, but it's a soul thing. Why eat till 80% full? Eat till 80% full because if I take too much from this world. That's what if I take too much from this world, I'm really taking away from my neshama. This is Mechtam Eliyahu. This is straight up Mechtam Eliyahu. Straight up from Dessler. Straight up. It says, the more you have to know that even if someone's giving something away for free, Zara is having a sale. Everything is free. Everything is free. Right? Everything that you take for yourself, know that you're paying somewhere else spiritually. Nothing is free. The more you own, the less you have spiritually. The less you have, the better off you are, really, in essence. The more room you have for spirituality. Hi. I'm a little darker today. I listened to, first of all, no one's going through an easy time. No one is going through an easy time. I'm not like a Rebbitzin, but I get a lot of phone calls and a lot of messages, and people are mamish suffering. People are mamish in a lot of situations, and people I feel like my life is so amazing in comparison to so many people, and my life is amazing regardless. But our goal here is to constantly be focused and not lose this focus. And not fall into the darkness, and not fall into the Yetzer Hara, and not fall into the place where he wants us to fall, into the self-yush, into the giving up, into why are you doing this to me? Why me? Not at all. Right? The more challenges we go through in this world, the more Hashem is demanding of you because he knows that you got what it takes. You have what it takes. You have what it takes. Your neshama is strong, it's big, give it a voice. Stop shutting it off, stop numbing it down. Stop saying, I can't think about this, let me just watch something, I can't think about this, let me just go out to the gym, I can't think about this, let me just shut it off. Hashem puts challenges in your life because she wants you to turn it on. And the more I turn it off, the challenges will get bigger and bigger. Right? Not because he hates us, because time is running. We're on a clock. And the more I'm able to expose my neshama to Kedusha, all of a sudden, we're all a bunch of givers. That's what we're here to do. We're here to give. We're here to give to each other. We're here to give. And I can only give when I connect to the Kedusha. Because then I'm not so busy with taking all the time. I'm not so busy with me and my woes and my challenges and my bills and why me and I can't deal and the stresses. I'm not so busy with that because I'm seeing it from a whole different angle. I'm seeing it from a whole different perspective. Right? All of a sudden I'm able to feel free and I'm able to see you. And I'm able to see you, and I'm able to see, wow, what do you need? What does she need? What's going on with her? And you're in a way better place. So the Kras Pesach. I feel like when Mom is coming out of Galus, I feel like I'm telling you, like it's like it says in the Nevuos that Hashem is turning up the heat. Hashem is turning up the heat before Mashiach comes so much that we're going to have 3/4 of Klal Yisrael not coming out of Galus with us. Are going to be left behind, not going to come with us to Mashiach. 3/4. The ones that are running after Taivas Aguf, the ones that are just they're in Makas Choshech. You know that, right? Taivas Aguf is Makas Choshech. Running after the guf, running after the voice of the guf, running after what feels good here and now, even if it's against halacha, and even if I don't, whatever, I want to be free. Where does that need for freedom come from? The need for freedom comes from your soul. It wants to be free of this guf, wants to be free of this body. So I feed it with freedom from mitzvos. It's exactly the opposite. I'm furthest away from freedom when I'm free from the mitzvos. Mitzvos are what connect me be'etzem to my life source and give me that happiness that's just overflowing. That's what mitzvos do, right? And it's really important. I want to end with this. It's really important to give this to our children. Teach them from when they're very little that their happiness doesn't come from TV and from getting another game or from going on vacation or from getting another pair of jeans or whatever. Teach them from when they're very little where the good's at. I always tell my kids, my little one is too little for this, but when Elisha, when he makes a bracha, or when he decides to do something good, or when I see him overcoming his Yetzer Hara, then I always tell him, you know where the good stuff's at? You know where the good stuff's at? He says, yes. Right? I know where the good stuff's at, because that's where the good stuff's at. Teach them the good stuff's not at the fun and the pleasure and me and the ice cream and the cakes and the wardrobes and the vacations. We're turning another generation into the choshech generation. No, the good stuff's at there, in the Torah and the mitzvahs and the midos. That's where the good stuff's at. Because that's wow. You ever talk to a boy that's 20, 25, that's been learning for like years? You see the difference. You see the light. A guy that really knows how to learn, a good boy, that's really, my gosh, how can you compare it to a 25-year-old guy that just has a job? And how do you even compare? Why? Because it says that barati yetzer hara, barati Torah tavlin. That's where your goodness is going to come from. Only the Torah. Only Torah, hashkafa, only coming to these classes, only in drenching yourself in the truth. Because that's your language, that's your soul's language. Why do people feel so inspired? Oh my gosh, Devorah, you're so amazing. I'm not amazing. You're amazing. You're finally connecting to something that feels amazing to you, and it's liberating to you. You can all of a sudden breathe like, oh my gosh, I feel so good. I want to do things. I feel alive. Why do you feel alive? Because that's where your life source is coming from. Not me, it's you. I'm also amazing. Thanks. Baruch Hashem. I can only say that because Hashem wants me to say that. But we have to know that we're amazing and that we have a powerhouse of soul and spirituality inside of us, and that's how we get bigger and greater. Not by saying I'm nothing, I'm no one, I can't do anything, I'm worthless, it doesn't matter what I do. Then you don't operate, you don't function. So with that, I give us all a bracha. First of all, please go to another class before Pesach, please, on something, okay? Or listen to something somewhere, or keep listening while you're cleaning. It's never ending. And you'll come to your Seder a different person. So I give us all a bracha. Hashem shed. Please Hashem. Thank you Hashem. Thank you Hashem for opening up our hearts and for bringing us here and for bringing us to this place where we can learn Torah and we can connect to the truth. Thank you Hashem. When you say thank you, then you bring more of that into your life. So it's the best tefillah to thank for what is. Then you bring more of that into your life. Thank you Hashem for the ratzon to connect to you. Thank you Hashem for the sweetness of the Torah, and thank you Hashem for the understanding of what you're teaching us, and thank you Hashem for the want and the will, the motivation and the enthusiasm to put everything into action and to really see it come alive in our life, and to feel that Torah is Eitz Chaim Hi, and our life source, everything comes from the Torah. Thank you Hashem for that experience in this world. Thank you Hashem for Pesach, thank you Hashem for Chametz, thank you Hashem for cleaning, thank you Hashem for freedom, thank you Hashem for being able to come out of the choshech into the or, and thank you Hashem for helping us spread the light to all the Jewish people around us, and not being limited, not stay limited and confined and insecure about what we know, but really spread it to the Jews around us to try to save some souls wherever we go. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you to bracha. We love bracha. Bracha is tzedekah. Thank you so much, bracha.